Number one, average list price. We cannot get a break. So how's it going, you guys? My name is Christopher McGee. I'm the owner of Halcyon Real Estate, affiliated with the Keller Williams Market Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today is the 9th of December, 2024. We're wrapping up just a few more weeks here and we will be done with 2024, looking at 2025. When we do that, I will give you a rundown of what the trends looked like throughout the entire year, as well as just through the fourth quarter. So look forward to that. But right now I'm about to show you exactly what Utah's housing market looks like using numbers pulled right off the MLS. I've got the data points to track it back all through quarter 4 and quarter 3 of this year so that you can see what those trends actually look like, because that's what I do on this channel. This is the numbers, the nuance. This is where you come weekly in order to know exactly what Utah's housing market looks like, better than any other place you're gonna go. So really quick, before we look at the actual numbers, I just want to tell you that everything's going essentially as we expect it to for this time of year and what our economy looks like. Zoomed out on a national scale, I've just got 3 things to point out this week. Number one, average list price. We cannot get a break. So prior to this week's look at this specific number of average list price, we had 3 out of 4 weeks where the average list price was in the mid to low 600K range. And that was an improvement because all summer and fall, we were in the low to mid 700K range. And now this week we have this 800K spike in average list price for the previous week. We have so many households in Utah that are banking 75 to 100K a year and still are struggling to see how they're gonna be able to buy a home. That is rough. The good news is 3 out of the 4 previous weeks, we were in the mid to low 600K range, okay? And I do believe that we are tilted more in that direction throughout the coming winter months. Interest rates may have something to say about that, and I'll get to that in just a second. But first, a quick note about the number of price reductions we're seeing week to week. So typically throughout the cold months and throughout the holidays, we would expect to see price reductions going up. We would see an increase in the number of price reductions that are happening week to week through cold weather. And to be clear, it's not the size of price reductions, right? It's just the number of price reductions, the number of times that a seller thinks to themselves, well, in order to attract a buyer, I'm going to need to drop my price on the market. And it's actually trending down. The number of times this happens each week is trending down. Now, there could be a thought that this is happening simply because inventory is also trending down, but that's seasonally what we expect. We expect that through winter, school, the holidays, inventory drops, and that the number of price reductions increases through that time as well. So it's not that, and inventory is dropping much more moderately where price reductions are dropping a little bit more sharply. You'll see that on the chart. And at the same time, we have a pretty consistent run of average sold price being 10 to 15K under average list price. And so I think while we're not getting more price reductions from week to week, I think what must be happening is we're getting more significant price reductions, just fewer of them. Now, interest rates are trending moderately down. 5 out of the last 6 weeks, we watched interest rates come moderately down. Till now, we're at about 6.6 something. Why might this affect home prices? Because dropping interest rates tends to release the pent-up demand that we have right now. If we've got dropping interest rates, then what we'll have is a sudden increase in actualized demand. More people will go out buying homes. If that takes big enough bites out of our supply, out of our inventory of available homes for sale, that will drive prices up. Demand coming up tends to drive prices up. So what we hope is that interest rates don't drop too fast and too far, because we do want interest rates to come down. We just also really want home prices to come down as well. Quarter 2 of 2025 will tell us a story of how that's going to play out for sure. All right, let's look at these numbers. Inventory sits at 10,113. It continues to come down from its high point in October. We always see inventory peak in mid to late October. Average days on market sits at 60 days, and that's trending up. Average list price came to $802,760. This trend is pretty level. We expect it to be coming down. If it weren't for this week's particular 802K spike, then we'd have a really level trend, and we'd maybe even see the last several weeks show us maybe we're starting to trend down, but nope, we get this 800K spike. So it is what it is. Now, average sold price came to $789,898, which means the difference this last week between average list price and average sold price came out again in the buyer's favor to the tune of $12,862. This trend is looking fairly level. Last week, the number of homes that were sold came to 570. That's up from the previous week, but this is clearly still trending down. The number of homes currently under contract comes to 4,339. This is also trending down. The number of price reductions that happened last week came to 852, trending down. We expect this to come up seasonally, as we spoke about. It did jump up significantly from the previous week, but we're still seeing a downward trend. This prior week, the number of listing contracts that were either canceled, expired, or withdrawn came to 462, down from last week's first of the month report, but as we can see, overall definitely still trending up. And interest rates for a 30-year fixed rate conventional loan came to 6.68%. As we said, this has been trending down now for the last 5 of 6 weeks. And that is it for this week, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any of the info provided here, I'd love to see questions in the comments. I'll be happy to respond. And if you or anybody you know is interested in moving, selling, and or buying a home in Utah, especially Salt Lake County, Utah County, Tooele County, or Davis counties, that's where I'll go. And if you are somebody or if you know somebody looking to buy and or sell a home in those counties, I'm going to be happy to be on your team, making sure you know what to expect, what's happening next, what's normal, how to negotiate best, keeping it all buttoned up and making sure it's done in a way that keeps you protected and is wise. And of course, as always, if you want to know exactly what Utah's housing market looks like at any given point in time, you will not do better than this series of videos. Hit that subscribe and stay on it with me from week to week. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye, bye-bye.